Welcome to the Bookworm Duo, where we explore a variety of books. Let's get started. And welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling a beast of a story, Lee Child and Andrew Child's exit strategy. Our mission is to basically follow the breadcrumbs to trace this plot from, a simple coffee shop scam all the way up to a global conspiracy.
It's an amazing study in escalation, isn't it? It starts so small with things we all recognize, debt, a con job, but it spirals so fast. It's really all about how that initial, very human problem of debt gets twisted into the ultimate form of leverage.
Okay, let's start the clock right where the book does. It's a minute after 11 in the morning,
Yep.
and we meet Nathan Gilmore, who is just completely freaking out.
Oh, yeah. His coworker is dead, and he's sending this panic text, 911, need to meet.
He's a guy on the absolute edge, waiting by this dockside office, just hoping for some kind of lifeline.
And at that exact same moment, in walks Jack Reacher. He's in one of those big, bright coffee shops, an old warehouse they've converted.
Right, and he does what Reacher does. Orders a black coffee, no sugar, and just watches.
And what he sees is the first layer of this whole criminal operation. It's an old couple looking a bit down on their luck, and they're being totally fleeced by a very sharp-looking man and woman. The woman, we later learn, is Mia.
It's such a classic con. The couple hands over these two thick bundles of cash, maybe $10,000 total?
Something like that. And in return, they get this envelope that Reacher knows is just filled with cut-up newspaper. But they've been promised a huge profit by tomorrow. It's predatory.
And this tiny little $10,000 scam is the first domino.
It is, because just then, Gilmore gets his reply text. It says, noon today. He'll be the biggest guy in the place.
And he thinks, okay, that's my guy. But it's this horrible coincidence.
Alert 1. The text was referring to his actual contact, a guy named Harvey Jones.
But Harvey Jones had collapsed and died just 12 minutes earlier, at 11:48 a.m.
So Gilmore's lifeline is gone. And the description, the biggest guy, now points to the only other person who fits that bill.
Jack Reacher.
Before Gilmore can even put two and two together, Reacher drains his coffee. He's decided he's seen enough.
He follows the scammers, Mia and her partner, into an alleyway. And this is where Reacher makes his presence known. He doesn't call the police. He becomes the consequence.
The accomplice pulls a knife, which is a very bad idea.
A terrible idea. Reacher just moves so fast. He disarms the guy, breaks his arm. It's efficient. It's brutal. He takes the briefcase with the cash.
And crucially, he takes the car key. And he looks right at Mia and tells her to deliver a message to her boss, Dominic Kelleher.
He's poking the bear, intentionally.
Oh, absolutely. He wants to draw out the bigger players. He then, of course, goes back and gives the 10 grand to the old couple.
Meanwhile, Gilmore is just consumed by fear. He realizes his contact is a no-show, so he scribbles that desperate note for the biggest guy he can find.
Must disappear, life in danger.
And that's it. He's gone. He rents this incredibly bland silver Chevy Malibu with cash and a fake license and just vanishes into his bolt hole apartment.
It's interesting, he already had that. He set it up a year ago, realizing a hideout was, as the book says, more than a luxury. He knew he was in deep trouble long before this.
And Kelleher, the guy Reacher, just humiliated. He does not let it slide.
Not at all. After midnight, he sends a crew, 4 guys in these Ride Czar's taxis, which is just a perfect low-rent detail.
And this fight is all about reestablishing dominance. Reacher finds a metal pipe and, well...
It's another short, brutal confrontation. He sends a very clear message back to Kelleher. Your goons are not enough.
But the threat to Gilmore is so much worse than just a physical beatdown. He tracks Reacher down at the Greyhound station the next morning, and he is just breaking.
They found him. They found his secret bolt hole, the one place he thought was safe. They showed him a photo.
A photo of his 4-year-old nephew in St. Louis.
And the threat they attached to that photo is just vile. Gouge his eyeballs out with a spoon if he stops doing his job.
Which is pulling illegal shipping data from the port's computers. So the stakes just went from, debt collection to psychological torture.
Exactly. The debt was just the hook. The nephew is the chain. So Reacher knows he needs to figure out where this debt came from.
Which leads him to Horner's, this super upscale but totally underground card club.
Yeah, you get this great description. The gleaming black door, red roses, but then a metal detector strip inside. It's a fortress.
And Horner, the owner, he gives Reacher the key piece of the puzzle. He says Gilmore's debt was paid off in full by some guy with a briefcase of cash.
That's the tell. The debt wasn't sold to collectors. It was bought, specifically to be used as leverage. It was never about the money.
It was about owning him. Horner also gives up Kelleher's name. Dominic Kelleher says he runs a bar called the Butcher's Dog.
And this lets Gilmore connect another dot. He realizes the whole hiring process at the port was fixed by Kelleher's guy, Zach Weaver.
Right. The HR person, Sabrina Patton, she hired Gilmore even though his resume had huge gaps, and he looked, as he puts it, like a heroin addict.
They needed their man on the inside. They put him there.
Meanwhile, Kelleher's just stewing. He's obsessed with getting back at Reacher. He tells his people he wants a new crew, someone, filthy, nasty, no disgusting.
He wants a public, permanent injury. He says he wants to see Reacher staggering around on crutches. It's all about his reputation.
And Mia, trying to get back in his good graces, suggests these two guys who have, quote, special equipment.
A drill.
Yeah, chilling stuff. So this pressure forces Reacher and Gilmore to dig deeper. They figure the blackmail information had to come from somewhere deeply personal.
And they land on Gilmore's therapist, Dr. Alyssa Martin. A complete betrayal of trust. She was selling her patients' secrets.
Including Gilmore's, and, it turns out, Sabrina Patton's, too.
So they go back to the coffee shop, lean on the barista, Kevin. He folds, of course.
He admits he was told to get Reacher to go outside, and he calls his contact, Weaver, which confirms Dr. Martin was the source.
From there, things get violent fast. Patton drives them to Dr. Martin's office, and Reacher sees her body inside. She's been murdered.
And Gilmore, showing how much this has changed him, uses her finger to unlock her computer. Face ID was disabled.
Someone knew what they were doing. And they find the patient files are missing.
The most important missing file, it belongs to another veteran, Catherine Castlewood.
And they realize she's not another victim. She's fighting back. They find Weaver's house. He's dead too. Shot himself after Castlewood turned the tables on him.
And crucially, she took his stuff, the blackmail files and the burner phone he was using for updates.
This is where Reacher has that flash of brilliance. He realizes she didn't just take the phone to silence it.
She's using it.
She's using it. She's sending fake intel to the bad guys, telling them the heist is happening a day later than planned. She's buying time.
It's an incredible move. And just before they leave, there's that great little Reacher detail. Gilmore is amazed he remembers Dr. Martin's address, 10301.
And Reacher's explanation is just perfect. It's a palindromic prime.
Of course it is. It's just that's how his brain works. He sees the patterns.
So they head to the secret terminal. They find the security guard who is being blackmailed, Arlon James, and get him on their side.
And they watch Castlewood, who's limping, clearly injured, run the first part of her plan with a look-alike.
And Reacher spots a code in the bill of lading, recognizes it as an old-school ex-CIA kind of thing. This confirms the stakes are way higher than they thought.
The heist itself is so clever. Castlewood takes a small wooden crate out of a big blue container. The blue one is the decoy.
Right. She has a different driver take the decoy container away, and she leaves with the real crate in a little pickup truck. The thieves will show up tomorrow and hit an empty box.
But then Castlewood reveals the whole unbelievable truth. It was never about the crate, the what. It was always about the who.
The story about Iran and uranium and Armenia, all of it, a complete fabrication.
Made up by one man, Morgan Strickland, the CEO of Strickland Security Solutions.
He invented a war. He created a fake international crisis just so his company could get a massive contract. For profit.
And the real cargo was a person. A whistleblower named Violetta Vardanyan, who Castlewood was trying to smuggle into the country to expose him.
But Strickland's men, even though they were a day late, grabbed the decoy container and they found Vardanyan. They got the witness.
So now they go to Strickland's headquarters, this place called the Kinsella Mine, and there they find the contract and the motive for everything.
The clause is called Special Compensatory Consideration.
Sounds so bureaucratic.
But what it says is just monstrous. Strickland personally gets $1 million for every single one of his contractors killed in action.
$1 million per death.
It's unbelievable. Suddenly everything makes sense. Why he was hiring unqualified soldiers using a list of washouts from a guy at the Pentagon named Mark Hewson.
He wasn't just accepting risk, he was creating it. He wanted casualties. Every dead soldier was a bonus check.
It's the most disgusting industrialized betrayal you can imagine.
So they use Kelleher's gang, who are now rioting outside the mine, as a diversion. Reacher and Gilmore get inside. And they find this refrigerated storeroom, the death room.
Inside are the bodies of 3 guards and a very alive but very traumatized Violet of Ardennian.
Reacher then tracks down Strickland himself in a training area. Strickland starts shooting.
And Reacher, in this brilliant bit of improvisation, rips the Kevlar plating off a robotic target and uses it as a shield.
He takes Strickland down and forces him to admit that Hewson, the Pentagon guy, was in on the whole thing.
And that's it. The whole conspiracy, from the coffee shop to the Pentagon, is laid bare.
The ending is just. It's justice, Reacher style. The next morning, Reacher and Gilmore, wearing stolen uniforms, meet Hewson outside the mine.
Hewson is so arrogant he dismisses his own bodyguards. Big mistake.
Huge. Gilmore drives him in Strickland's own Tesla right to the death room. And there's Strickland's corpse and the contract right there for him to see.
And Castlewood is there to confront him, the man who buried her report years ago.
It's all over. Reacher uses Hewson's phone to call 911, not just for the bodies in the room, but for the 25 other families who deserve answers.
Gilmore calls Patton. Tells her it's finally over.
And in the end, Reacher is back at the Greyhound station, heading to Salt Lake City. But Gilmore has changed.
He has. He's not going back to his old life. He's seen how debt can be weaponized.
And he decides to use what he's learned for good. He's going to create a real exit strategy for other vets caught in these traps.
He's going to quietly buy up their debts, no strings attached. The opposite of what Kelleher and Weaver did. He's turning their weapon into a shield.
It's an amazing arc for his character, from victim to, well, to rescuer.
But that brings up a really interesting final thought, you know. Gilmore is setting up this new life, helping people, buying a bar, a cab company. But he's building it on a foundation of knowledge he gained from the absolute darkest parts of the criminal underworld. He knows how blackmail works, how to run clandestine ops.
So the question we want to leave you with is this. When you've mastered the enemy's playbook so completely, how hard is it to run a truly ethical operation? Can you use the tools of the darkness to serve the light without getting tainted by them? It's something to think about.
It really is. What a journey. From a simple text message to taking down a war profiteer. Incredible.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe for more bookish adventures and hit that like button if you enjoyed the ride. Don't forget to share the knowledge, spread the word.